Hi everyone, welcome back to Procrasti-Knitter podcast, a knitting and crochet, sometimes podcast where I talk about things that I've been working on. My name is Jane. Today I'm coming to you from Philadelphia. I'm visiting my boyfriend William I'm about to go back to California, but I've been here for a little under 2 weeks now, and yeah, it's been really fun, really great, and I've done some yarn shopping the past 2 weeks, so I'll have some of those stash updates to share as well. Let's just jump right in. Whips. Okay, so I brought 3 projects with me on this trip, one of which I'm not going to even show you, is the cardigan for my grandma, because that has not even been touched. So, and I'm leaving in 2 days. So, yeah. Okay, but something that did get a lot of time is this. So this is my simple raglan, and I'm really close to finishing. I was hoping to have it done while I'm here, but unfortunately I don't think that's gonna happen. But actually I don't quite remember where it was last time that you saw it. Actually I think I was probably about close to binding off for the bottom, and then I think that's why I didn't put a stitch marker, because I was just like, it's gonna end. So what I ended up doing is just, I decreased a tiny bit. I don't think I needed to. I did decrease a tiny bit, and then I just bound off regular, nothing special at all. And it's curling quite a bit, so I'm gonna see if with blocking I can get some of that out. But yeah, it is curling up quite a bit. For the collar, I picked up, I don't know how many stitches, but pretty much every stitch, I'm pretty sure, picked up, and I just knit stockinette upwards, and then bound off as well, so that it's like a little rolled collar sort of situation. Yeah, I guess I knit for about an inch or so, inch and a half, and then at first I just bound off regularly, and then I tried to put it over my head and I couldn't. So then I had to unpick the bind off, and I bound off using Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off or something like that. Yeah, so now it's super stretchy, as you can see, but before, like, I could not get this over my head, you guys, and it was like small panic. I had a small panicked moment, but everything is fine. My glasses have gotten like loose in like the month that I've had them, and I think it's because like sometimes I wear them like this and it stretches them out, but like, yeah, I don't know what to do. If you know what I should do, let me know. Anyways, so that's what I did for the collar, nothing too special. And then for the sleeves here, this project is on my Ravelry, so if you want details, you can check it out, I suppose. But I did 2 rounds of, I did 1 round of completely rapid decrease, meaning I knit 2 together every single stitch, but then I felt like it was still too big, so then I did a more spaced out decrease, just like a decrease round, I guess. And then I bound off again using Jenny's stretchy bind off, and yeah, I think it looks really good. I think it worked out well. And on the other sleeve, I think I have a little ways to go. I mean, I think I could finish it by the time I leave, but something else is taking priority that I will talk about a little bit later. But yeah, so I don't have that much left at all. I think, yeah, we'll see. Another reason I'm not working on this is last time I was working on it, William and I were watching a movie, and then after he could not stop sneezing. So he is sensitive or allergic to wool. But this is super wash, so I thought maybe it'd be okay, because that's what his mom said. And I think just the way the yarn is, I think it's like a single ply, and it's definitely fuzzy. It has a halo, so I think, you know, maybe some of the fiber probably was in the air and made him feel sneezy. So I try not to work on it when we are in super close proximity. But so yeah, that's one reason. Another thing I have to say about the raglan is it's heavier than I thought. I mean, I guess I should have expected it. It's bulky weight yarn, but yeah, it's a little heavier than I thought it would be. Should I try it on? This raglan, if you missed it, I mean, I've been talking about it for like ages, but it's a self-drafted sort of thing. I mean, once you understand a raglan, it's really not too difficult to do your own thing. I think I wish it was a little bit more oversized, but it's definitely not a bad look. I'm excited for it to be finished. I think in the future I would probably cast on closer to like here, so cast on a larger amount so that the neck would be a little bit less high up. But you know, I don't hate it. The sleeves, this is where they are ending right now, but I anticipate with blocking it, it's gonna grow a bit. So yeah, I think that's gonna work out to be the sleeve length I want is anywhere between here and here. So we'll see if that works out for me. But yeah, so I have a little bit left. And I'm doing helical knitting and alternating skeins, but in case you couldn't tell, this is about where I decided to start doing that, so you could see pretty sharp contrast, but you know, maybe not. The yarn is Malabrigo Mecha, and yeah, this is my self-drafted version is very inspired by a sweater by my favorite things knitwear, but it looked, I don't know, I didn't want to I didn't want to buy the pattern because I was like, that looks like a pretty simple raglan to me, and I bet I could figure it out. So that's what I attempted to do. Yeah, so in terms of the bottom, I don't know, because yeah, it's rolling a little bit more than I would like, and it's kind of like, I don't know if it's just what I'm wearing underneath, but I feel a tiny bit frumpy in it, if that makes sense. Like I don't want it to go in, but at the same time, yeah. So I actually think if I were to knit something like this again, I'd knit it bigger. Yeah, I'd knit it bigger. Especially because when I went to William's house, we also visited his parents in Virginia, and his mom was wearing the exact sweater that I'm trying to create, except she bought the pattern, and hers was really oversized, and I think it's supposed to be that oversized. I just didn't consider that before splitting for sleeves. Yeah, I didn't think about how a baggy fit would look better. So, you know, hopefully it blots out some, but maybe not. In any case, it's a nice sweater to wear. And yeah, in any case, I think I'll be happy about it, but I think a baggy, a tiny bit baggier look might be better. But so, I mean, maybe I'll just wear this for the rest of the video. But yeah, that's my progress on that. Actually, you see behind me, we have some beautiful flowers. These are real and these aren't. This is like a Lego set that William and I built. I think he got it for Christmas from one of his aunts, and yeah, it was really fun to make. So that's something I made recently as well. I don't know. Okay, the next whip that I brought. So I cardigan, this one, the cardigan for my grandma, which did not get worked on at all, so I won't show it. And the third one is this. So this is the balaclava, the BB balaclava from Bonbon Knits or something like that. It's free, and it's linked on my Ravelry project page. But as you can see, it's this like either seed stitch or moss stitch. I always get those two confused. And you might also be able to see that I did not get very far at all. I mean, I finished the top of the head and picked up around, but I mean, it's a fuzzy yarn and it's actually really hard to see. So yeah. And then like there's a selvage edge, but I never remember. I don't know, I never remember how it works. So this has not been worked on because it's yeah, and you kind of have to like make sure you insert your needle into it, like that you caught the whole yarn, if that makes sense, and didn't like poke through it, like that you didn't split the yarn, as well as you didn't like go into a loop like underneath the live stitch. So it's not the most mindless knit. I mean, it could be, but I just haven't found myself being super pulled by it. I casted it on, I believe, because I wanted a simple knit to bring to school with me. I'm a substitute teacher, and yeah, so then I think that's why I casted it on, if I'm not mistaken. Or I think I just wanted something new and small, but I didn't want to wind up yarn for something, I don't really know. But anyways, so I cast this on, and you know, it worked out fine. The progress I did make was during school, so during my like lunch break. But yeah, I just haven't found myself picking it up. But I also think it's because I'm really close on this cardigan. Before the trip, I had not picked up this sleeve, so I did this sleeve on the trip and part of this one. So yeah, I thought I would prioritize that knit, but which I did. So no worries about that. And my plain, I was gonna work, this was supposed to be my plain knit as well, but I just did not, it's, I don't know, there's low lighting in plain sometimes, and yeah, I think I just didn't want to, but you know, now I might work on it on the plain back. Yeah, if you don't know, I'm from California, so it's like it's a long travel day. It's like a 6 to 12 hour travel day, depending on layovers and delays and stuff like that. Okay, well, that's probably closer to like an 8 to 18 hour travel day, but not to worry. Not 18, maybe 8 to 14, 8 to 12. So yeah, that is that. The yarn is really nice, beautiful to work with. I think it's like wool, alpaca, and nylon. But yeah, so that is that. Okay, so that's one whip. And my last whip. So those were the 3 I brought, and then I started a project with some yarn that I got on the trip. So I didn't cast on socks back home because I'm actually feeling really uninspired by my sock yarn stash, but you know, I'm re-inspired. So I think when I go home, I know what yarn, because like I have like a couple, less than 5 skeins of new sock yarn that I could potentially cast on, but I just didn't feel like it. But yeah, I have a couple ideas of what I want to do when I get home, so that is good. I've been wearing my socks a lot. I brought pretty much all of them on this trip, and I've been wearing them constantly, and it's been really, really nice. So yeah, that's good. Anyways, so this is the yarn that I recently got. Oh yeah. This is manos yarn, algeria. It's their sock base. I think it's a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. Yeah, it's really nice. The colorway is burn, and it has these like you know, kind of what you would expect: reds, deeper reds, oranges, and then also like purples, like a lavender, but it almost looks gray because of color theory. I don't know. Anyways, okay, so I actually have a half-finished object to show. So this is the first pair of socks that I knit from it. It looks much better in real life than I've been able to like capture on camera, but you know what, this is pretty close. Like, you see how the purple kind of looks very gray in it, but it's purple. But you might be wondering, why are these socks so huge? And that is because these are for William. I've never knit William socks before because of his wool sensitivity, allergy, whatever. But I'm convinced that these will work, and he's tried them on, and he hasn't worn it for an extended amount of time, but he has said that it is very comfortable and soft and not itchy. So this is, I think this is a 3-ply yarn, and I mean 75-25, so you know, not extremely low in wool content by any means, but definitely not 100% wool. It's super wash as well, so I think those are all qualities that make it okay. So this is Crazy Sock Lady's pattern, as always, her vanilla socks. I knit the size large, heel flap, and gusset, my go-to favorite construction. And yeah, it's really nice. He has really big feet, so I'm actually a little tiny bit worried about running out of yarn, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. I don't have a scale, so I can't necessarily weigh how much yarn this took up. But yeah, I started this 4 days ago maybe. I finished last night, so it was relatively quick to knit up, even though, you know, yeah, it was relatively quick to knit up, even though it was huge. It's a huge sock. I don't have another one with me right now for reference, but my socks are like so much smaller. Like, they barely take up 50 grams of yarn. And yeah. Anyway, so this is the first sock, and I've casted the second one on already. I'm doing it on 9-inch circulars as per usual. And I did the full sock pattern with this as well. So I did a 20 round cuff, 60 round leg, and then foot to measurement, I guess. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And this yarn is really lovely to work with. I have some I have a one hank in stash at home, but I hadn't ever used it, so this is my first time knitting with it, and it's a really nice yarn. It's a good feeling. It works up the way I expect it to, or the way I want my yarn to work up. I will have to see what washing it will do. I'm hoping it doesn't stretch a ton, but yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. But I think it should be a-okay. But who knows, I'll report back. So the yarn I got at Fibrespace, which is a local yarn store, or is it local yarn shop? Yarn store in Alexandria, Virginia. It's a really cute shop. We went during a warehouse sale because I was hoping there would be something on sale that I wanted, but in fact there was nothing on sale that I wanted. So I did not end up, I bought things full price. So that is that, but that's okay. So I got that, this yarn, and I also got another, and by the way, William picked out this colorway. Well, I picked it out and he had veto power, so he did not veto this one. And this is the first one I picked out. He's into like the reds and blacks, so I figured this would be a good choice. Okay, so sorry, I'm just so chatty. Yeah, so this yarn I picked out at Fibrespace, and then I also got another yarn that I already wound up, because like, God knows why. I think I was just like, what if I want to start the sock? So, oh man, it's a really beautiful yarn that is kind of not being captured well in this light, but it's a blue, green, yellow, purple yarn. My cousin said it reminded her of a hummingbird, and yeah, I think that tracks. So yeah, I forget the color. The colorway is Dragon. So yeah, on my Ravelry page, I have stashed all my yarn on there. So my whole yarn stash is on there, and I have pictures of this in hank form, and it's beautiful. So I highly recommend you take a look, because it was really precious, really gorgeous. But these will be socks. Yeah, everything will be socks. Okay, so that is acquisitions. I guess we've moved on to acquisitions, and then I guess I also wanted to show you this bag. I don't think I've shown you the past Fibrespace bag, or I don't know if I did, but from my experience, just going there 2 times, each purchase comes with a tote bag, and yeah, this is a different design than the other tote bag that I've gotten from them. The other one was like more of like a hot pink magenta color, and this is a red, and this one I think is their like winter Christmas themed one, because of, you know, the snow and the mittens. The other one was probably just regular, because it's just like yarn and yarny tools and things like that. I really love this one. I love Fibrespace. I love their social media as well. I think they're doing a really good job. So yeah, that is my little tiny yarn haul from Fibrespace. Okay, and then my next acquisition is crazy. Let's just say this acquisition was so unexpected, not even something I was like actively seeking out. But so the reason I'm visiting William is yesterday actually was our 4-year anniversary, and you know, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so we are I don't know, I wanted to visit as a treat. Yeah, so anyways, I've gone to 2 local yarn stores in Philly, as I mentioned a few months back last year when I visited William, and I got some yarn that I've recently worked up, and I mean, there are quite a few local yarn stores in Philly. Not that many, but okay, my point is there were a couple that we hadn't visited, and one in particular I really wanted to go to is called Hidden Valley Yarns? I don't know, but it is in Philly, not in like center city, but in the greater Philly area, I guess. It's like a 15-minute drive from University City, so really close. And it was a beautiful yarn shop on Main Street of whatever neighborhood it was in. It's just really, really nice. And the store owner was there. She was really patient with us because I was there for a while, just like staring at things. And I was gonna buy a lot of things that did not end up coming home with me. What did come home with me though? Oh my goodness. What did come home with me is a shawl kit. What did come home with me was a shawl kit. So William was sweet enough to get this for me as an anniversary Valentine present, and like I cannot express to you how excited I am about this. Like I cannot express. It's just so special. So this is the shawl. It's called the Tokyo shawl, designed by Marianne Isager. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but the yarn is Isager yarn, which is like, if you don't know, it's like a, is it Icelandic? It's some sort of like European, Scandinavian, maybe, kind of yarn. And I've never seen it in the US, especially at a store. So I was just also really excited to try out the yarn. But let me show you what is in the kit. I got the Time colorway. So it comes with 4 of these. Oh man, the coloring is not great. It's like a beautiful dusty green, but actually if you look closely, it's almost a marled heather kind of yarn to ply, but lots of different colors inside the thread, and there is a fuzz, a halo as well. So 4 of these, and I think I hold this double with the rest of the yarns. So this is the colorway Time, and this is their alpaca base, which is 100% alpaca. Oh man, this is just so beyond lovely. So I think these are 50 gram balls, skeins, and yeah, beautiful. And then I'm gonna hold that yarn with the rest of the yarn. So the rest of the yarn is their spinny wool 1 base, which is 100% pure new wool. Oh my god, like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? These are all in stash as well on Ravelry. So if you're curious about like specific colorways, you can go on there. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Like when I saw this, I was like jaw on the floor. Literal jaw on the floor. Don't know what I did to deserve it. It's so wonderful. So I feel like it's just the perfect colorway. This is like exactly what I'm looking for in my wardrobe right now. Oh my god, it's just beautiful. It's just genuinely so beautiful and mind-blowing that this is in my stash. And I'm so excited. It also came with like a tiny bit of this, which is also the spinny. I'm just so excited to knit this up. I'm just so excited. And it'll be a good springtime knit as well, because it's, yeah, I think it'll just be a good springtime knit. So I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna finish the cardigan and this, and then I'm gonna let myself cast this on, because I really just want to clear the needles at the moment, and it's actually really itching me to have so many projects. As I keep saying, like week over week, like I need it off. But just like look how insanely beautiful this shawl is gonna be. The store also had a sample of it, so knit with this yarn as well, just in a different colorway. So I've you know, seen the size, felt the drape, and I really like it. I mean, it's really the colors that get me. If the colors were different, I don't know. I don't think I would have gotten it, but these colors are just divine. I think it's a little more expensive. I guess, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It comes with 13 balls of yarn that I looked online to see like the price conversion, and I think it would have been, it's like around $10 for $10 US for each if you were to buy them in Europe. And I got the kit for $150, and the pattern, I didn't try to look for it online, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if you could have gotten it online or what. So I feel like it's a really good deal. I didn't have to fly to Europe to buy the yarn, and I'm really, really grateful for William for getting this for me. I just think it's the most beautiful thing I've ever laid my eyes on. So yeah. Like, this might convert me to being a shawl person. Oh, come on. I mean, it's just great. It's just great. So I'm so super excited about how that is gonna work out. So yeah, that's like my most exciting acquisition. And then the last acquisition I have to show is something that's really exciting too. This is hand spun wool yarn, natural color. That's what it says on the tag. I was visiting an old professor at Swarthmore, and she just had this in her office. She was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I think you'd think this is really cool. And she showed me the yarn. And she was just saying, you know, she didn't know what to do with it. But, you know, it's really special yarn. It still has the lanolin in it, which is why she thought I might find it interesting. I've never touched wool that still had the lanolin in it, which is like a waxy coating. Yeah, so I'd never felt that before, so she thought I might try to, I might like to feel what that felt like. And then she just offered it to me. She was like, do you want it? And I hesitated because, like, what am I gonna do with this? But at the same time, I don't know, it was just so special. So I said yes. So now it's in my possession. This was made, this is, on the tag it says CVKH Textiles, but she told me it's like a farm co-op foundation situation, where people with various disabilities live and work there and learn different crafts and make and sell the things they make. And so this is an example of something they make. So they have sheep on the farm, I'm guessing, and they spun up the wool. And I don't know how much is in here yardage or weight wise, but it's just really special. I've never felt the wool with the lanolin. It's really nice, actually. It's definitely itchy, but I don't know. I think I actually could wear a sweater, but you know, maybe not. Maybe that's not wise. I think it might be good for like a weaving, for a coaster to felt with, but it's definitely really special. And if you have ideas of what I can do with natural undyed wool with lanolin still in it, is this something that will wash off after I wash it or not? I'm not sure. But yeah, it's really beautiful, really special, and just really great in general. And I'm very grateful to have this in stash. And smelling it, I don't know what sheets smell like. Everyone talks about wool smelling really nice. now I'm like, yeah, no, I think these are all like processed, right? So this definitely has a scent. I'm not sure if this is the scent of the sheep, or if they did wash it, or if they, you know, did anything to make it smell like this, but this smells like a natural grocery store situation, like a mom's organic market smell, or like a Sprouts. You know what I mean? It smells like that. It smells almost medicinal. Yeah, so I don't know if that's the sheep or what, but really lovely, squishy yarn as well. So yeah, that's everything I had to show in terms of acquisitions. I have one last thing I wanted to talk about, because I thought that's yarn related, because I thought it might be nice to show. I don't know if I've ever shown this. This is an infinity scarf that William knit me. So very many years ago, in 2020 is when he gave this to me. Early, like for Christmas of 2019, he knit this, and in 2020 I got it. This is the perfect length. It's really warm, especially when worn like this. I've worn it a lot in college, and this is malabrigo something. I don't know what, but I think this is just garter stitch, and yeah, I'm really grateful for this. It's really, really wonderful, and this was like way before I got into knitting, a little bit before I got into crocheting, but this is really special to me, because, you know, now that I'm knitting him stuff, it's cool to see that he knit me something first. I don't know, because he's not much of a knitter like now, like he knows how to knit, but it's not like a craft he necessarily does often or enjoys. But I really appreciated that he knit this for me, and I thought it might be fun to share on the pod. I think this is the first hand knit I've ever owned. So I don't know, it's just kind of interesting and fun to reflect on that. I think the color works on me really well too. So yeah, I guess that's another thing. But I just thought that was really sweet to think back on. Okay, so yeah, those were all the yarny things that I wanted to share and talk about. But you know, there are other things to discuss as well. So thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and like this video if you've liked it and you want to see what I'm up to in the future. Now I'm going to talk about things I've been reading, watching, listening to, etc. So, you know, if that's not you're not interested, like, thanks. Like, if you're not interested, no worries. I'll catch you in the next one. But if you are, I got things to talk about. So, okay, most recently, I just started meaning like 15 minutes before, as I was setting up for filming this, I started watching After the Altar. Love is Blind, After the Altar. I love this show. It is genuinely so wild to me that people do this, that it is a thing that exists, that I can consume. But yeah, After the Altars, which is, if you don't know, Love is Blind is a reality TV show on Netflix, where people date without seeing each other. They just get to hear each other and like listen, and they date, they propose, they go on a little pre-honeymoon situation, and then they go to the altar and they say I do or I don't, and they get married to someone after knowing them for like 2 weeks. So that's the crazy part, right? And obviously not all the couples make it, but After the Altar is filmed a year after the altar, and it follows the cast and, you know, to see what they've been up to. Did the marriages last? Did people who didn't get married get back together? Did they date other people? Where are they now? Man, I was so invested in this last season. It's just wild. Every season is just wild. I mean, season 1, like, is the best because that was when it was pure, and I feel like people, like, didn't have ulterior motives, but, you know, now I feel like people have ulterior motives because that's just what happens with reality TV, I feel like, but I don't know. Anyways, it's interesting so far. It's interesting so far, and that's all I gotta say about that, especially given that, like, I don't know, because the way production works, right? Like, the world is a little bit more updated on the status of these people's lives than is necessarily being shown in After the Altar. So it's just a little weird because, like, you've, like, or at least I've seen interviews of people, like, after the reunion episode, which is also filmed later, and, like, I don't know, it's just, and they're like, yeah, we already filmed After the Altar, that sort of thing. So to see their perspective on their life or their relationship post After the Altar, and now we're seeing After the Altar, it's very interesting. All I have to say is it's very interesting. Yeah, so I would recommend Love is Blind because it's messy and I love it. And it, yeah, I don't know. And yeah, I think I like it because it doesn't, like, rely on any past relationship. Like, I would not be able to watch The Ultimatum because that's way too stressful. Because if you don't know, The Ultimatum is, like, you've been dating this person for a really long time. One of the people wants to get married and the other person in the partnership does not want to get married yet. And they go on the show with a bunch of other couples who are in that situation. They date each other's, like, partners, and they decide, like, do I want to marry my original partner or do I want to, like, break up and marry someone else or something like that? I don't know. That's too messy. I don't want that. Love is Blind is pure. So, yeah, I really like it. So, it just, like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't have to justify myself. So that's good, whatever. Next, what other things I've been watching is, last night we watched The Nice Guys, which me and William, which we thought was really good. That's on Netflix as well. It's like a movie, a detective movie, I guess, almost, but, you know, other stuff happens. I would just look up the trailer. I'm not really good at pitching movies, but it's a good, like, action kind of comedy movie. And we liked it. Ryan Reynolds is in it. Not Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Gosling is in it. And yeah, we thought it was good. The night before that, we watched Bullet Train. That was really good. I thought it was really funny. Yeah, it was just, it's really good. You know, like, the type of movies that are similar to Bullet Train I always find really impressive, and by that I mean there's a set timeline, you know, all the characters are in one relatively small space. In this case, it's a Japanese bullet train, and yeah, everything is happening at the same time. People don't know how they are connected, and the story connects, and they encounter each other, that sort of thing, and on a timeline as well, like over the course of, you know, less than a day, right? So yeah, I always find movies like that really clever, and Bullet Train was really good. Good comedy, good action, really violent. I did not watch the violent parts. I simply looked away. But there are a lot of fight scenes. So yeah, I thought it was a good movie. And a star-studded cast for sure. So that's on Netflix as well. And then the day before that, we watched The Lost City. I don't remember what that's on. Paramount, I think, Paramount Plus. that was just like a silly movie. It's just a silly movie. It's not like particularly good, but it's like a rom-com. It's a rom-com. It's not particularly good, but it was not bad, and we enjoyed it enough. Yeah. And then what is really the star of the show is we went to watch Puss in Boots 2, The Last Wish in theaters. And when I tell you, it is one of the best movies I've ever seen. It is genuinely one of the best movies I've ever seen. It pulls something off that is so unexpected, and it does it so well. The animation was incredible. It was incredible animation style, like a mix of like the 3D animation but also like 2Ds. Like there's a lot of, in a lot of fight scenes, there's a lot of like more illustration stylistic scenes and like visuals, and dropping frames, and just like the pacing of it was so good. I couldn't believe it wrapped up. It was able to wrap itself up, but it did. I just really loved it. The characters, I feel like, were really well developed, and I just genuinely really enjoyed the movie. It was funny. It was like heartfelt. It was really incredible. I'm really amazed by it. I don't necessarily think it's a movie for kids, even though it's an animated movie. I don't know, because I kind of found it scary. Let's just say I kind of found it scary. But it's really, really good. Really well done. Very touching, like emotional, like I don't know how to describe it. It's really good, and I do think it's something you should see in theaters. So if you haven't seen it yet, I would run to your local theater and I would see it now. I would absolutely see it again. It is a really good movie, so I highly, highly recommend. Yeah. What else? Yeah, those were the movies that we watched recently. In terms of shows, we've been watching Dropout, which is a subscription service from College Humor, which is a YouTube channel, social media company kind of vibe. They, I think they're most well known for their Dungeons and Dragon role-playing game series. Called Dimension 20. There's like a bunch of them, but I watch for their other stuff. So we really love Game Changer. Game Changer is a really great show on Dropout, and we like Play It By Ear, Make Some Noise, Dirty Laundry. They're just really fun, good, and like short episodes to watch, and the talent on the shows, it's really, really great. I'm really always really impressed by the musical improv show, which is Play It By Ear, is really good as well. It's just like really impressive, really funny, and just like fun. It's just fun. So I really recommend checking out Dropout. I think it's like a couple bucks a month, but I really recommend it if you're looking for some lighthearted comedic content. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. I mean, what have I been reading? Oh, I'm actually reading this book about yarn. What is it called? I'm reading this book about yarn. I forget what it's called, but I'm also reading the Anthroprecene Reviewed by John Green, and I'm really enjoying it. He just reviews like random things. Okay, I'm reading The Book of Wool. The Knitter's Book of Wool by Clara Parker, maybe? Looks like that. Looks like this one. And then I'm reading the book from John Green. And I also borrowed Wern, A People's History of Clothing. So yeah, I'm excited to keep reading on those. Yeah, yeah, that's what I've been reading lately. I would recommend the John Green book. It's nonfiction, which is pretty different for him. And actually, I'm really, really enjoying it. It is very similar to his Vlog Brother videos, like the short essays on there. And in fact, I think a lot of videos on there are inspired by the things he wrote here, or vice versa. So I'm a big fan of the book so far. I also really like Hank Green's fiction. So it's really interesting how that worked out, huh? But yeah, that's what's been happening in my life lately. Thank you so much for sitting and listening to me. I hope you got some progress in on whatever you're knitting on, or just had a lovely time catching up. Thank you so much again for joining me. If you like it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe if you're not already. On the internet, you can find me at _taohyung_ on Instagram. My Ravelry will be linked down below, but I think it's just my first and last name, so Jane Huynh. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!